una battaglia persa, niente che mi tira su. Even though to you it may not seem that that's what's really happening, if that's what they're saying, and most times we tape all of the sessions, and we find that afterwards when we play the tapes back to the people, they'll say, I never knew I believed in that. No, and that happens a lot. We get a lot of people that afterwards they'll say, I never really believed in reincarnation. But now I told you during the session, they're the ones that tell us that this attachment comes from a former reincarnation. Okay? We didn't tell them because we work with their belief system. Or someone will say, my dead Uncle George has been with me for the last 20 years and I don't even believe in an afterlife. Okay? But after something like this happens to a person, it helps them to see what their real belief system is. What are those things hiding that they haven't been able to bring out before? And I feel of the beneficial things that come out of a releasement therapy treatment, that is the most beneficial. The person that's releasing this entity is finding out so much more about themselves. They're finding out what their belief systems are. What is their reality? How can they work with all of these wonderful things they've been shown through this treatment to be a more complete person? To come together, mind, body, spirit, emotions, to bring all those levels to the healthiest level that they can. Because they know a lot more about themselves and what they're really feeling at that moment in time. Because we're never the same from day to day. Hopefully we change and grow and learn more about ourselves and our realities, then help us to be able to work with other people and their realities to make better communication between peoples, because we know ourselves a lot better. So that's a thrilling part of this. But it is very hard at times for the therapist, because most of us have had work in so many different types of complementary therapies that you want to jump in and say, well, as a psychologist, I think, you've got an Oedipus complex or whatever, as a nutritionist, I think you're just not drinking enough water, whatever. And you just have to be there for them and work with them intuitively. Every day is a new day. It is so exciting because every person you work with is completely different. You just work with these people and you never know what's going to come up and you're never quite sure how to work with it. But we do have a very good support system, because there are lots of groups out there now doing this type of work. As I said, the Spirit Release Foundation is a wonderful group. They do have classes that you can go to be able to learn the technique, and a great support system so that you can get in touch with people if you feel that you're getting into something that you oughtn't to be doing yet. Usually we're sent someone to help us grow along the path. As I had that woman come in and sit in front of me with my healing session and have the trust to say to me, I'm possessed. What can you do about it? And that's what started me into this field, to see what other energies are out there that can form attachments, and how we can work with them to relieve that. Now, I wanted the lights up today because I really would like some questions from you today so that we can illustrate some of the different situations that you can have in this situation. Is there anyone that would like to just throw out something that, yes?
Have you worked with people that have both genders in one body? I mean, this problem with transsexualism and everything.
Right.
Do they come to you? I mean, have you had that experience?
I have a couple of people that I'm doing healing work with, but they have not asked for this work to be done yet as far as the spirit releasement or the energy release. In the book, the blue book, they do have some cases. And Dr. Edith Fiore, have you heard of Dr. Edith Fiore? She's worked with people with different genders. But that's really getting into belief systems. That's a heavy duty one, because the people I feel in that situation really have to ask for this work to be done. I would never suggest it to anyone.
I just wondered if somebody had come to you and asked for...
No, I haven't had. I have not also worked with anyone that has been possessed by what they feel is alien energy. Okay, I haven't done that either. But I do know people who do, and that's one of the good things about being part of different groups, is that with the varied belief system that I'm working with, and I work with all along the line, different belief systems, when I come up to something, because usually people call me and we talk before they come to see me, and if I feel I probably wouldn't be the person they should see, then I do have a different spectrum of people that I can contact. I have one friend that really works with demonic stuff. I mean, really, really heavy-duty stuff. I've done a lot of dark stuff, but not the real heavy-duty stuff. And when that comes up, I do suggest that they go and see him.
How does your therapy work then? Do you sit somebody down and just speak to them about it and that releases it?
No. This is how the therapy works. I'm glad you asked that. Okay. Most of the time, the clients that come to me are people that I've already done healing work with, and that's channeling of energy, or on workshops in my training, workshops that I do. Basically what happens is a person will come to you because some of the symptoms of having attachment are loss of time. Not a lot of loss of time, but it also sounds like just having senior moments too. Like you don't quite remember what happened yesterday. You can't write it all down in a sequence, okay? The other thing is depletion of energy. All right? So, you'll be sporadic about your depletion of energy. One day you'll have tons of energy, even during the day you'll have tons of energy, but then all of a sudden you feel really sapped for energy. That's another one. Obvious ones would be when you say things like, well, I just don't feel like myself today. Well, now that sounds like anybody might say that. I don't feel like myself today. But what prompts a person to say that? If they're not really feeling like themselves today, who are they feeling like? Do they really feel like there might be something else that's with them? And then the biggies are speaking a language that you don't know, writing music when you're tone deaf, doing beautiful artwork when you can't draw a stick figure. Different talents that all of a sudden just show up when they weren't there before. I'm not saying an attachment has to appear beneficial or not beneficial. It can be both. I mean, it can be wonderful things when you have an attachment. There are some theories that some of the child proteges, Mozart, for instance, someone like that, really had an attached spirit that was helping them. I think it's Taylor Caldwell, who's an author in the United States, says that a lot of the work that they've done has been through channeling or an attached spirit. They're not quite sure which. I mean, so there's lots of pros and cons about this. Whether we have this wonderful energy coming to us, is it something that's a deterrent to having us live our own path, or it isn't? But the main thing is, if a person comes to me with the intention that they feel something is not beneficial to them, we talk about it. We set up an appointment for at least 3 hours. It doesn't usually take that long, but we set it up for 3 hours. We do, they do go into an altered state of consciousness, but a very light one. There are two basic ways of doing it. Using hypnosis is one, or intuitive work is the other, and then there's everything in between that. I work with relaxation. Guided visualization is what I use. Breathing techniques, and then intuitive, working with the energy. So those are the three things that we work with to bring the person into a relaxed state so that the trust can be there. Because this is something, you're really handing over your life to somebody when you sit them in a chair and you say, okay, we're going to go and see who's attached to you or what's attached to you. It can be very scary for people unless that trust is there. So you bring the person into that slightly altered state. How I work generally is then I use visualization to say you can see, all right, you're in a room, there's a mirror, you can see your body, and you can see the energy around your body and in your body and through your body. And I'd like you to look at it very carefully. Is there anything there that you feel doesn't connect with the rest of the energy? And that's where we get our start. That's where we start from, to find out if a person can visualize this and find an area that they feel, maybe if they're imagining their whole body is working on this beautiful blue energy, but there's a big red spot down by their right knee, then that's what we work with. We work with the red spot at the right knee. And we have to identify it. You have to find out, all right, what is this red spot? Try and communicate with it. And find out exactly what you're dealing with. And then find out how it came to be there, how long it's been there, what it is. Your first thought is always with your client or patient, the person that came to you. They are the most important thing through this whole technique. They're always number one. So when you're dealing with the other energy, they're number two. And that's very important to remember. Because sometimes people get so caught up in if let's say it's something that, right. I had a lady come to me, she had constant bronchial problems, a nurse. She hadn't had these bronchial problems until about 2 years before she came to me.
Gli occhi sopra le nuvole, aspettando la luce di una lampada atomica.